Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever found yourself pausing in the middle of your day because a single thought, memory, or face keeps returning to your mind? No matter what you're doing or how much time has passed, they linger almost like a quiet presence in your life. It's as though they've taken up residence in your heart without even asking for permission. Today, I want to unpack what it means when someone is always in your mind, even without communication. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. Many associate it with weakness or exposure, a state of being defenseless. But in truth, vulnerability is one of the most powerful tools we have to foster real connection. It is the courage to show up and be seen, even when the outcome is uncertain. Vulnerability asks us to take off the armor we wear to protect ourselves from rejection, judgment, or hurt. It asks us to stand in the truth of who we are, imperfections and all, and say, "This is me." Authenticity, on the other hand, is about alignment, about living in a way that reflects your true self. It's about acting, speaking, and showing up in a manner that feels genuine and uncontrived. When combined with vulnerability, authenticity becomes a bridge. It connects us not only to others, but also to our innermost selves. Think about the moments in your life when you felt the most alive. Chances are those moments weren't perfect or scripted. They were messy, raw, and real. Maybe it was the time you confessed your feelings to someone, unsure of how they'd respond. Maybe it was when you admitted you needed help, even though you feared it would make you seem weak. Or maybe it was a moment of pure joy, laughter spilling out of you with abandon, unfiltered and unguarded. In these moments, you were vulnerable. And because you were vulnerable, you were authentic. But let's be honest, vulnerability is not easy. It's uncomfortable and often terrifying. It feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure if the leap will end in a soft landing or a painful fall. The risk of vulnerability is real. It opens us up to the possibility of rejection, disappointment, or even heartbreak. But the alternative is far more costly, a life spent hiding, holding back, and never truly connecting with others or with ourselves. When someone occupies your mind persistently, vulnerability becomes even more critical. It's easy to dismiss these thoughts or brush them aside, to tell yourself that thinking of them doesn't matter. But denying what's in your heart doesn't make it disappear, it only buries it deeper, where it festers. Being vulnerable in this context means acknowledging those feelings, even if they scare you. It means admitting, at least to yourself, that their presence in your thoughts is meaningful. Authenticity, in this case, is about staying true to those feelings. It's about resisting the urge to downplay or rationalize them away. Too often, we suppress our emotions out of fear of appearing foolish, fear of seeming overly sentimental, or fear of what those feelings might demand of us. But authenticity asks us to honor what's real, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Vulnerability and authenticity also require self-awareness. They demand that we dig deep and ask hard questions. Why does this person linger in my thoughts? What do they represent for me? Am I holding on to something unresolved? Or is their presence in my mind a reflection of my own growth, desires, or hopes? These questions can be daunting, but they are necessary if we want to live a life that is aligned with our true selves. It's important to note that vulnerability isn't about oversharing or putting everything out in the open for everyone to see. It's about being selective and intentional, about sharing what matters with the right people at the right time for the right reasons. It's about creating a space where authenticity can thrive, where you can be yourself without fear of judgment or rejection. Authenticity, in turn, is not a fixed state. It's a practice, a daily commitment to show up as you are, even when it's hard. It means embracing your imperfections and owning your story, no matter how messy or unfinished it might feel. Authenticity is not about being perfect, it's about being real. And being real means allowing yourself to feel deeply, to love wholeheartedly, and to engage with life fully, even when it feels risky. When you combine vulnerability and authenticity, you create the conditions for true connection. You open yourself up to the possibility of being truly seen and understood. And when it comes to someone who is always on your mind, these qualities are essential. They allow you to confront your feelings with honesty and to engage with the situation in a way that is both courageous and true to yourself. In a world that often encourages us to hide behind facades, to prioritize appearances over substance, and to avoid the discomfort of difficult emotions, vulnerability and authenticity are acts of rebellion. They are a declaration that your feelings matter, that your truth matters, and that you are willing to embrace the fullness of your humanity, no matter where it leads. Storytelling is one of the oldest and most powerful forms of communication we have as human beings. It predates written language and formal education. It's how we pass down history, culture, and wisdom from generation to generation. At its core, storytelling isn't just about relaying facts or sharing events. It's about creating a connection, evoking emotion, and painting a vivid picture that resonates deeply with others. Stories are how we make sense of the world. They allow us to process experiences, contextualize emotions, and find meaning in what might otherwise seem random or chaotic. They bridge the gap between logic and emotion, speaking not just to the mind, but also to the heart. When you tell a story, you're not just sharing information, you're inviting someone into your world. Now, when it comes to someone who's always on your mind, storytelling becomes an even more powerful tool. Think about the way we replay moments with them in our heads, the conversations, the laughter, the shared silence. In many ways, we're already crafting a story in our minds about what they mean to us and why their presence lingers. But often, we don't take it a step further. We don't articulate that story, even to ourselves, let alone to others. Imagine for a moment the stories you tell about this person. Maybe it's the story of the first time you met, how you felt a spark or an inexplicable sense of familiarity. Maybe it's the story of a moment they showed kindness or understanding when you needed it most. Or maybe it's a story that's more bittersweet, one that speaks of missed opportunities or words left unspoken. These stories are more than just memories. They are the threads that weave the fabric of your connection. The beauty of storytelling lies in its ability to bring these moments to life. A well-told story doesn't just recount what happened, it draws the listener in, making them feel as though they were there. It's in the details, the way their eyes lit up when they laughed, the way the air smelled on that crisp autumn day, the exact words they said that left an imprint on your heart. When you tell a story with vividness and emotion, you're not just sharing an experience, you're inviting others to feel it with you. Storytelling also allows us to explore and process our emotions. Sometimes we don't fully understand why someone occupies such a significant place in our thoughts until we start to tell the story. In crafting the narrative, we uncover layers of meaning we might not have noticed before. We begin to see patterns, to recognize the lessons they've taught us, and to appreciate the ways they've shaped us. One of the most powerful aspects of storytelling is its universality. No matter where we come from or what our individual experiences are, we all understand the language of stories. They are a way to find common ground, to remind each other that we are not alone in our feelings or experiences. When you share a story about someone who's always on your mind, it resonates because we've all been there. We've all had someone who lingers in our thoughts, someone who's left a mark on our lives. But storytelling isn't just about the past, it's also about imagining the future. The stories we tell shape our perceptions and guide our actions. If the story you tell yourself about this person is one of longing and loss, it may leave you feeling stuck or incomplete. But if you choose to tell a story of growth and gratitude, of how their presence has enriched your life in ways both big and small, you open the door to a more empowering narrative. Storytelling also has the power to heal. Sometimes the person we think of is someone we've lost either through distance, time, or circumstance. In these cases, telling their story becomes a way to honor their memory and keep their essence alive. It's a way to make peace with their absence while cherishing the moments you shared. In storytelling, there is also an element of vulnerability, which is why it can be so transformative. Sharing a story about someone who means a lot to you requires courage. It means opening up, letting others see your raw emotions, and trusting that your truth will be received with empathy. But when you do, you create the possibility for a profound connection, not just with others, but with yourself. Finally, storytelling is an act of creation. It allows you to take the intangible thoughts, feelings, memories, and give it form. It turns fleeting moments into something lasting, something you can revisit and reflect upon. When you tell the story of someone who's always on your mind, you're not just preserving their presence, you're shaping the way you carry them forward in your life. Connection is one of the most fundamental human needs. It goes beyond physical proximity or casual interactions. It's about feeling seen, understood, and valued. Connection is what binds us to one another and gives life its richness and meaning. When we talk about someone being always on our minds, even without communication, we are delving into a profound form of connection that transcends the superficial. What makes connection so powerful is its ability to make us feel less alone. In a world that can sometimes feel isolating or overwhelming, genuine connection reminds us that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. It's a thread that links us to another person, creating a sense of belonging. And when this connection is strong enough to persist in our thoughts, it becomes a testament to its depth and significance. Connection often begins in the simplest of moments, a smile exchanged, a shared experience, or a conversation that feels easy and natural. But its real power lies in its ability to grow. True connection deepens over time as we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and open. It's built on trust, mutual understanding, and a willingness to invest in one another. When someone occupies your thoughts without communication, it's often because the connection you share or shared is rooted in something deeper than words. Perhaps it's a shared history, a moment of profound resonance, or an unspoken understanding that continues to echo within you. This kind of connection doesn't rely on constant interaction to exist. It thrives in the spaces between, in the quiet moments where their presence is felt even in their absence. What's fascinating about connection is how it operates on multiple levels. On the surface, we connect through shared interests, experiences, or values, but beneath that lies a more emotional and often spiritual layer. This is where the essence of someone lingers in our thoughts. It's where their impact on our lives becomes woven into the fabric of who we are. Think about the connections that have mattered most in your life. They're not always the ones that were the loudest or most visible. Sometimes the most meaningful connections are the ones that remain understated, quietly shaping us from the inside out. These are the connections that leave a mark not because of grand gestures or constant interaction, but because of their authenticity and depth. Connection also has a way of defying logic. There are times when we can't fully explain why someone stays in our thoughts. Maybe they touched a part of us that we didn't even realize needed to be seen. Maybe they brought clarity, comfort, or inspiration during a time when we felt lost. Or maybe their presence simply reminded us of what it means to feel alive. Whatever the reason, the connection endures, even without explanation. Another remarkable thing about connection is its ability to stretch across time and distance. We often think of connection as something that requires presence, but the truth is, some of the strongest connections persist even when we are apart. This is why someone can be on your mind constantly, even if you haven't spoken in weeks, months, or years. The bond you share exists beyond the confines of the physical world. It lives in the space between your thoughts and emotions. It's also worth noting that connection is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It looks different for everyone and evolves over time. For some, connection may be rooted in shared laughter and lightheartedness. For others, it might come from deep, soulful conversations or moments of shared vulnerability. The beauty of connection lies in its diversity. It adapts to the unique dynamics of each relationship, creating something that feels truly personal and irreplaceable. But connection isn't just about what we feel for others, it's also about what we learn about ourselves through those bonds. When someone is constantly on your mind, it's often a mirror reflecting back something within you. Maybe they awaken a part of you that you've neglected or forgotten. Maybe they challenge you to grow or remind you of the person you want to be. The connection you feel with them becomes a catalyst for self-discovery and transformation. At its core, connection is about resonance. It's the feeling that another person gets you on a level that goes beyond the surface. It's about shared energy, an unspoken understanding that doesn't need constant validation. When someone is always in your thoughts, it's often because the resonance you share with them has left an imprint on your soul. Connection also teaches us about the impermanence of life. People come and go, relationships shift, and circumstances change. But the connections that matter most have a way of staying with us, even as they evolve. They remind us that what truly connects us to one another isn't bound by time, space, or even words. It's something deeper, something enduring. When you feel a persistent connection to someone, it's a reminder of the invisible threads that link us all. It speaks to the idea that we are never truly alone, that our lives are intertwined in ways we might not fully understand. This is the power of connection. It transcends the tangible and reaches into the realm of the intangible, touching parts of us that we didn't even know were there. Engagement is the art of capturing attention and holding it in a way that fosters genuine interaction. It's not just about being heard, it's about sparking curiosity, evoking emotion, and inviting others to participate in a shared experience. Engagement creates a sense of presence that draws people in, making them feel that what you're saying or sharing is meaningful and relevant to their own lives. When someone is always on your mind, even without communication, engagement becomes an essential part of how we process and navigate those persistent thoughts. It's easy to let the presence of someone in your mind fade into the background, like a song playing softly in another room. But true engagement asks you to step closer, to tune in, and to actively explore why they remain a part of your mental landscape. Engagement starts with curiosity. It's about asking yourself the questions that might feel uncomfortable or challenging. Why do they occupy your thoughts so often? Is it their kindness, their wisdom, or the way they made you feel seen? Are you holding on to a specific memory, or is it their overall presence that lingers? Curiosity opens the door to understanding, and understanding deepens our connection to ourselves and to others. In the context of communication, engagement often involves reciprocity. It's the give and take that makes conversations dynamic and meaningful. But when communication isn't an option, when this person is only present in your mind, engagement takes on a different form. It becomes an internal dialogue, a process of reflecting on your emotions and memories. This kind of engagement is deeply personal, requiring you to confront your feelings and engage with them intentionally. One of the most powerful ways to foster engagement is through storytelling, as stories naturally captivate our attention. When you think of this person, your mind might replay specific moments, shared laughter, heartfelt conversations, or even moments of conflict that taught you something valuable. These mental replays are a form of engagement, a way of keeping their presence alive in your thoughts. Engagement is also about active participation. It's not enough to let your thoughts drift passively. You need to actively explore what those thoughts mean. This might involve journaling, meditating, or even speaking out loud to yourself. What do your recurring thoughts about this person reveal about your desires, fears, or hopes? Engaging with these questions helps you move beyond surface level rumination and into a space of deeper understanding. Another key aspect of engagement is emotional resonance. People engage most deeply with experiences or ideas that touch their emotions. When someone lingers in your mind, it's often because they've stirred something within you: joy, comfort, longing, or even unresolved pain. To engage fully with their presence, you must allow yourself to feel those emotions without judgment. This means embracing the discomfort as well as the beauty, acknowledging the full spectrum of what they mean to you. Engagement also involves mindfulness. It's easy to get caught up in the why and what if of your thoughts, but true engagement requires you to be fully present with them. Instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, focus on the here and now. What are you feeling in this moment as you think of them? What memories are surfacing and why do they matter? Mindfulness helps you approach these thoughts with clarity and intention rather than letting them overwhelm or distract you. In a broader sense, engagement is about connection not just to the person in your thoughts, but to yourself. It's about recognizing how their presence has shaped you and continues to influence your life. This might involve reflecting on the lessons they've taught you, the values they've inspired, or the ways they've challenged you to grow. By engaging with these insights, you deepen your understanding of who you are and what matters most to you. Engagement also requires courage. It's not always easy to sit with persistent thoughts about someone, especially if those thoughts bring up difficult emotions. You might feel sadness over a lost connection, regret over missed opportunities, or uncertainty about the future. But true engagement means facing those feelings head-on, rather than avoiding or suppressing them. It means allowing yourself to be vulnerable and open, even when it feels uncomfortable. On a practical level, engagement involves creating space for reflection. In our busy lives, it's easy to push aside persistent thoughts, telling ourselves we'll deal with them later. But engagement asks us to make time to pause, to listen, and to explore. This might mean setting aside a few minutes each day to sit with your thoughts, or it could mean seeking out moments of solitude where you can reflect without distraction. Finally, engagement is about finding meaning. When someone is always on your mind, it's rarely a random occurrence. There's a reason they occupy that space, and engaging with your thoughts helps you uncover what that reason is. Maybe they represent a part of yourself that you've neglected, or maybe they've left a mark on your life that you're still trying to understand. Whatever the case, engagement is the process of turning those thoughts into insights, and those insights into growth. Practical insights are the bridge between reflection and action. They allow us to take abstract thoughts and emotions and translate them into concrete steps that can enrich our understanding and improve our lives. When someone occupies your mind persistently, even without communication, practical insights become a valuable tool for navigating those feelings and making sense of their presence. The first practical insight is the importance of self-awareness. When someone is always in your thoughts, it's a signal that your mind is trying to process something meaningful about that person or your connection to them. Instead of brushing these thoughts aside, engage with them deliberately. Ask yourself, why are they so present in my mind? What emotions arise when I think of them: joy, nostalgia, regret, longing? Self-awareness allows you to identify the underlying reasons for their presence and gives you a clearer starting point for deeper exploration. Journaling is a simple yet powerful way to channel self-awareness into action. Writing down your thoughts and feelings about this person can help you organize and clarify them. Begin with prompts such as, what do I remember most vividly about them? What did they teach me about myself or the world? What would I say to them if I had the chance? By putting your thoughts into words, you create a tangible record of your emotions and insights, making it easier to reflect on them over time. Another practical insight is the value of mindfulness. Persistent thoughts can feel overwhelming, especially when they're tied to unresolved emotions. Mindfulness encourages you to observe your thoughts without judgment, allowing them to flow through your mind like clouds passing in the sky. Instead of getting caught up in a cycle of overthinking, focus on the present moment. Notice how your body feels, the rhythm of your breath, or the sounds around you. By grounding yourself in the here and now, you can approach your thoughts about this person with greater clarity and calm. Seeking patterns is another key insight. If someone is always on your mind, it may be helpful to identify when and why these thoughts arise. Do they come to you during specific times of day, in particular settings, or when you're feeling a certain way? For example, you might notice that you think of them most often when you're feeling lonely, or when you hear a song that reminds you of them. Recognizing these patterns can provide valuable clues about the nature of your connection and what it represents in your life. Practical insights also involve taking inventory of your emotional needs. When someone occupies your thoughts, it's often because they fulfill or once fulfilled a need that feels unmet. Maybe they made you feel understood, valued, or loved in a way that's rare. Understanding this can help you identify what you're seeking in your relationships and whether there are ways to meet these needs more intentionally. This might mean strengthening connections with others, practicing self-compassion, or pursuing activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Another useful insight is the role of boundaries. While it's natural to think about someone who's had a significant impact on your life, it's also important to ensure that these thoughts don't consume you or prevent you from focusing on the present. Setting mental boundaries might involve giving yourself specific times to reflect on them, such as during a quiet moment of the day, and then gently redirecting your attention to other aspects of your life. This practice can help you honor their presence in your mind without letting it dominate your thoughts. Communication, when possible, is a practical step that can transform persistent thoughts into meaningful action. If circumstances allow, consider reaching out to this person. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. A simple message or call can open the door to clarity and connection. Before doing so, reflect on your intentions. What do I hope to achieve by reaching out? Am I seeking closure, reconnection, or simply the chance to express gratitude? By approaching communication with clarity and authenticity, you create the possibility for a deeper understanding of your relationship. For situations where direct communication isn't possible due to distance, time, or other barriers, consider symbolic gestures as a form of engagement. Write them a letter you never send, expressing everything you wish you could say. Create a piece of art, a playlist, or another tribute that honors what they mean to you. These acts allow you to channel your emotions into something tangible, providing a sense of resolution or release. Another practical insight is the importance of perspective. While it's natural to focus on what this person means to you, it's also helpful to consider the broader context of your thoughts. Ask yourself, what does their presence in my mind say about who I am today? How have I grown or changed since they entered my life? What lessons have I learned from our connection? And how can I apply them moving forward? By shifting your perspective, you can uncover insights that enrich your understanding of yourself and your journey. Engaging with supportive communities can also provide practical guidance. Talking to trusted friends, family members, or even a counselor can help you process your thoughts and emotions. Sometimes, simply sharing your story with someone who listens empathetically can provide the clarity and validation you need. Supportive conversations can also introduce new perspectives, helping you see aspects of your connection that you might have overlooked. Lastly, practical insights remind us to honor the balance between reflection and action. While it's important to engage with your thoughts about this person, it's equally crucial to remain present in your own life. Focus on nurturing your relationships, pursuing your passions, and taking care of your well-being. By doing so, you create a foundation of strength and resilience that allows you to engage with these thoughts from a place of wholeness rather than longing. Emotional resonance is the invisible thread that connects us to the people, moments, and experiences that leave an imprint on our hearts. It's not just about feeling something, it's about feeling something deeply in a way that lingers and reverberates long after the initial encounter. Emotional resonance is what gives certain relationships or memories their lasting power, making them a part of our inner world. When someone is always on your mind without communication, it is often because their emotional resonance with you has created a connection that transcends the boundaries of time, space, and even words. At its core, emotional resonance is rooted in empathy and understanding. It occurs when someone touches a part of us that feels deeply personal, yet universally human. Maybe it was the way they listened to you during a vulnerable moment, their laughter that brightened your darkest days, or a fleeting interaction that held unexpected significance. Whatever the case, their presence evoked something within you, an emotion so profound that it became part of your story. Emotional resonance is often tied to the intangible. While we might remember specific actions or words, what truly lingers is how those moments made us feel. It's not just the fact that someone was kind to you, but how their kindness made you feel valued. It's not just the words they said, but the way those words seemed to reach a place inside you that no one else had touched. Emotional resonance goes beyond the details of an interaction to capture its essence, distilling the intangible into something profoundly meaningful. What makes emotional resonance so powerful is its ability to bridge the gap between past and present. When someone leaves a strong emotional mark on your life, they continue to live on in your thoughts and feelings. Their impact becomes a part of who you are, shaping how you see yourself and the world around you. This is why certain people remain in our minds long after they're gone, because their emotional resonance is not confined to a single moment, it's woven into the fabric of our being. One of the key aspects of emotional resonance is its capacity to evoke layered emotions. When someone is always on your mind, it's rarely a single feeling that keeps them there. Instead, it's a complex tapestry of emotions, joy mixed with longing, gratitude tinged with sadness, hope intertwined with uncertainty. These emotional layers create depth and richness, making their presence in your thoughts feel both intricate and profound. Emotional resonance also speaks to the human desire for connection. When someone resonates with you on a deep level, it's because they've reflected a part of yourself back to you, your dreams, fears, values, or vulnerabilities. In their presence, you felt understood in a way that may have been rare or transformative. This shared understanding creates a bond that goes beyond surface level interactions, embedding itself in the core of your emotional experience. The persistence of emotional resonance can also serve as a mirror. When someone occupies your thoughts, it's worth asking what their presence reveals about your inner world. Are they a reminder of a part of yourself that you've neglected? Do they represent an ideal or aspiration you're striving for? Or are they tied to an unresolved chapter of your life that's still seeking closure? Emotional resonance doesn't just connect you to them, it connects you to yourself, offering valuable insights into your own emotional landscape. Another remarkable quality of emotional resonance is its ability to amplify our capacity for empathy. When someone resonates with you deeply, you're more likely to see the world through their eyes, to imagine their experiences, and to understand their emotions. And this heightened empathy not only deepens your connection to them, but also expands your ability to connect with others. The emotional imprint they leave on you becomes a wellspring of compassion, enriching your relationships in ways you might not even realize. Emotional resonance is often heightened by shared experiences. When you go through something significant with someone, whether it's a moment of joy, loss, or transformation, those experiences create an emotional anchor that ties you to them. This is why certain memories feel so vivid even years later. They're not just memories, they're emotional landmarks, markers of a time when your connection with that person felt especially profound. Memory plays a crucial role in emotional resonance. Our minds have a way of storing not just the events of our lives, but the feelings associated with them. When someone resonates with us emotionally, our memories of them become infused with the essence of those feelings. This is why hearing a song, smelling a familiar scent, or revisiting a certain place can bring their presence rushing back to you. These triggers tap into the emotional imprint they've left behind, reminding you of the depth of your connection. Emotional resonance also has a way of challenging us. When someone occupies your thoughts, it's not always a source of comfort sometimes. It brings up feelings of longing, regret, or unresolved pain. These emotions can be difficult to sit with, but they also hold valuable lessons. They remind us of the complexity of human relationships, the beauty of vulnerability, and the courage it takes to love and be loved. Emotional resonance isn't always easy, but it's always meaningful. There's a timeless quality to emotional resonance. Unlike fleeting emotions that come and go, resonance stays. It weaves its way into your subconscious, becoming a part of the lens through which you see the world. This is why someone's influence can remain with you, even as the circumstances of your life change. Their emotional resonance becomes a constant, a quiet presence that shapes your thoughts and feelings in ways you might not fully understand. Emotional resonance also has the power to heal. When someone's presence in your mind brings up difficult emotions, engaging with those feelings can be a step toward growth and self-discovery. Instead of avoiding or suppressing the emotions tied to them, allow yourself to explore what they're teaching you. What does their emotional resonance reveal about your capacity for love, forgiveness, or acceptance? How can you honor their impact while also finding peace within yourself? These questions guide you toward a deeper understanding of both your connection with them and your own emotional journey. Lastly, emotional resonance is a reminder of what it means to be human. It speaks to our innate need for connection, our capacity for empathy, and our ability to find meaning in the presence of others. It's a testament to the power of relationships, showing us that even when someone is no longer physically present, their emotional resonance can continue to inspire, comfort, and transform us. In the intricate dance of human emotions and connections, the mind becomes a sanctuary where memories, feelings, and reflections converge. When someone occupies that sacred space without the need for words or direct interaction, it is a testament to the depth of their impact on your soul. Through vulnerability, authenticity, storytelling, connection, engagement, emotional resonance, and practical insights, we uncover the multifaceted ways they continue to shape us. Their presence in your thoughts is not a coincidence. It is a reflection of shared meaning, transformative experiences, and the emotional imprint they have left behind. It is an invitation to explore the layers of your emotions, to honor the lessons they've brought into your life, and to find growth in the complexities of love, memory, and understanding. Ultimately, such connections remind us of the profound beauty and power of the human heart. They illuminate the truth that even in silence, even across distance, our bonds remain alive, woven into the fabric of who we are, guiding us as we navigate the intricate journey of being human.